Welcome to Crash Book, your book in a capsule. The place where we present books in short and simple knowledge capsules, so you can benefit from them anytime, anywhere. Whether you're on public transport or during waiting times, here you can listen to summaries of the most important books and feed your mind with new ideas that help you develop your life. So, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to receive all new content and enjoy every moment of this knowledge journey with us. Introduction. Many companies fail to reach greatness despite having the resources and potential. Jim Collins' Good to Great aims to uncover why some companies make the leap from good to great and sustain it over time. The book highlights that the core problem many companies face is that good is the enemy of great. Companies that settle for being good become complacent and stop striving for excellence. Collins spent 5 years researching companies that successfully transitioned to greatness and maintain their success. The key to greatness is not random bursts of success, but disciplined choices and leadership that prioritize long-term growth. Collins argues that greatness comes from consistent effort, not from embracing trendy management practices. The journey to greatness is about confronting uncomfortable truths and focusing on continuous improvement. Chapter 1. Good is the enemy of great. The central idea of the first chapter is that good is the enemy of great. Companies that are content with being good often fail to achieve greatness because they stop pushing for improvement. When a company reaches a good status, they tend to become complacent and stop challenging themselves. Collins uses examples of companies that plateaued at being good enough and never moved beyond that point. The comfort of being good can make companies feel secure, but it also creates a barrier to achieving extraordinary success. The key to breaking through this barrier is having the courage to constantly strive for more. Good companies often lack the discipline to take bold actions needed to achieve greatness. Collins emphasizes that greatness requires an ongoing commitment to improvement and the willingness to face difficult challenges. Companies that are satisfied with being good miss out on the potential for long-term, transformative success. Becoming great means never settling for what is comfortable or sufficient, and always asking, what more can we do? Collins stresses that greatness is a long-term process and is not about quick fixes or flashy innovations. Chapter 2. Level 5 Leadership. In the second chapter, Collins focuses on the kind of leadership needed for the good to great transition. He introduces the concept of Level 5 leadership, which he identifies as a key factor in building great companies. Level 5 leaders are characterized by a combination of deep personal humility and intense professional will. These leaders are not concerned with personal fame or recognition, but are wholly focused on the success of the company. They have the ability to make tough decisions and take responsibility for the company's failures. Collins describes Level 5 leaders as quiet, but incredibly determined, with a strong resolve to build something great for the long term. They are willing to take calculated risks and make difficult decisions that others might shy away from. Collins uses the example of Darwin Smith, former CEO of Kimberly-Clark, who led the company from good to great through his steady and humble leadership. Level 5 leaders don't need to be charismatic or visionary. Instead, they lead by example and set the tone for the company. These leaders are also willing to give credit to others when things go well, displaying humility and prioritizing the success of the organization over their personal glory. The effectiveness of Level 5 leadership lies in its balance of humility and willpower, which drives the organization forward while keeping the team united and focused. Chapter 3. First Who, Then What? In Chapter 3, Collins introduces the idea of first who then what, emphasizing the importance of getting the right people on the bus before figuring out where to drive it. According to Collins, great companies start by focusing on getting the right people in the right positions and then determining their strategy. The idea is that once the right people are in place, they will help figure out the best course of action for the company. Many companies fail because they start with a strategy and then try to find people to execute it. The best companies start with the people and then determine how to lead them toward greatness. Collins explains that having the right team is more important than having the right strategy. The people in the company need to share the same core values and be deeply committed to the company's mission. Great companies prioritize hiring individuals who fit the company culture and have a passion for the company's long-term goals. Collins describes how companies like Wells Fargo focused on hiring and retaining top talent who aligned with the company's values, which played a key role in their success. Having the right people means having a team that works together seamlessly and is able to adapt and innovate as needed. The chapter emphasizes that great companies are built on great teams, and the focus should always be on hiring the best people first. Chapter 4. Confront the brutal facts, yet never lose faith. The central concept of Chapter 4 is confronting the brutal facts while maintaining unwavering faith. Collins emphasizes that companies that achieve greatness must be willing to face the harsh realities of their situation. Great companies don't ignore or sugarcoat their problems. They confront them head-on. By facing the brutal facts, companies can make more informed decisions and take actions that drive long-term success. However, Collins cautions that while it's essential to face these facts, companies must also maintain faith that they will ultimately prevail. Well, this faith is a key element in creating a culture of resilience, where challenges are seen as opportunities for improvement rather than insurmountable obstacles. Collins uses the example of the Stockdale paradox, named after Admiral Jim Stockdale, who survived years of imprisonment during the Vietnam War. The paradox involves facing the brutal facts of your current reality while having faith that you will eventually prevail. Companies that practice this paradox are better able to navigate difficult situations and come out stronger on the other side. Collins highlights that when companies fail to confront the brutal facts, they are more likely to make poor decisions or miss opportunities for improvement. Great companies regularly assess their performance and make adjustments to stay on the path to greatness. The ability to confront the brutal facts allows companies to stay grounded in reality, adapt to changing conditions, and make strategic decisions based on the truth, not wishful thinking. Chapter 5. The Hedgehog Concept. In Chapter 5, Collins introduces the hedgehog concept, which is one of the most critical ideas in the book. The hedgehog concept revolves around finding the intersection of three key questions. What can you be the best in the world at? What drives your economic engine? And what are you deeply passionate about? Great companies focus on doing just one thing better than anyone else in the world, and they align their entire business around that focus. The idea comes from the ancient Greek fable of the fox and the hedgehog, where the hedgehog knows one big thing and does it well, while the fox knows many things but is less focused. Collins argues that companies that focus on a singular, clear vision are more likely to achieve greatness than those that try to be everything to everyone. The hedgehog concept is about simplifying your strategy to the one thing you can excel at and focusing your resources and energy on it. Great companies don't try to diversify into unrelated areas or spread themselves too thin. They focus on their core strengths. Collins provides the example of Walgreens, which focused exclusively on becoming the best drugstore company and aligned every decision with that vision. Companies that adopt the hedgehog concept make decisions that are consistent with their core purpose and vision, ensuring they move toward greatness with clarity and purpose. The hedgehog concept also helps to simplify decision-making, as every choice can be evaluated based on whether it fits with the company's core focus. The chapter emphasizes that a company's success is not about being good at many things, but about excelling in one area that aligns with its core strengths, passion, and economic drivers. Chapter 6. A Culture of Discipline. In Chapter 6, Collins discusses the importance of creating a culture of discipline within a company. Great companies have a culture where disciplined thought and disciplined action are central to their operations. A culture of discipline doesn't mean micromanaging or imposing rigid rules. It's about creating an environment where people are accountable for their actions and decisions. Collins highlights that in companies with a culture of discipline, employees understand their roles and responsibilities and make decisions based on the company's core values and vision. This disciplined approach allows companies to make consistent progress over time and avoid the distractions that often derail less disciplined organizations. A culture of discipline also involves the ability to say no to opportunities that don't align with the company's hedgehog concept, even if they seem tempting. Collins points out that disciplined action doesn't mean avoiding risk. Instead, it means taking calculated risks based on the company's strengths and strategy. Great companies focus on doing fewer things, but doing them with excellence and consistency. The culture of discipline allows companies to build momentum and stay on track toward their long-term goals, even in the face of challenges or setbacks. Collins uses the example of the flywheel concept to illustrate how disciplined action leads to sustained growth. Just like a flywheel, consistent effort over time builds momentum, and the results start to compound. The flywheel effect is a key characteristic of great companies. Small, consistent efforts lead to big results over time. The chapter stresses that while many companies look for shortcuts or quick fixes, great companies understand that true success is built on consistent, disciplined actions over the long term. Chapter 7. Technology Accelerators. Chapter 7 focuses on the role of technology in accelerating the journey from good to great. Collins argues that technology is not the cause of greatness, but rather an accelerator that can enhance already existing strengths. Great companies do not rely on technology to create greatness. Instead, they use it to further their established strategies and objectives. Companies that are successful in making the leap from good to great understand that technology should be used to amplify what they are already good at. Collins presents the example of companies like Dell and Nucor, which embrace technology to enhance their existing business models. These companies did not adopt technology for the sake of innovation. Rather, they carefully selected technologies that aligned with their hedgehog concept and business objectives. Technology is only an accelerator, not the driver of greatness. It is important to understand when and how to integrate technology into the company's existing strategy. Companies that try to use technology as a way to solve all their problems or drive transformation without first having a clear strategy often fail. The chapter emphasizes the importance of disciplined technology adoption and strategic alignment with a company's strengths and goals. Great companies tend to approach technology with caution and patience, seeking the right fit rather than jumping on every trend. Collins explains that the companies that thrive on technology have mastered the balance between embracing innovation and staying true to their core business focus. Technology is viewed as a tool to enhance existing capabilities rather than as a savior or solution for fundamental weaknesses. The key message of this chapter is that technology accelerates success only when it is used as a tool to support and amplify the company's vision and strengths. Chapter 8. The Flywheel and the Doom Loop. In Chapter 8, Collins introduces the flywheel and the doom loop, two contrasting concepts that explain how companies either sustain success or spiral into failure. The flywheel represents the concept of building momentum over time through consistent and disciplined actions, creating a self-sustaining cycle of growth and success. Great companies create momentum by consistently making small, positive decisions that compound and build upon one another. The flywheel effect is a gradual process. It's not about quick fixes or dramatic breakthroughs, but rather steady, disciplined work that leads to big results over time. Collins uses the metaphor of a flywheel, which requires a great deal of effort to get started, but once it begins to spin, it takes less effort to keep it going. Companies that practice the flywheel concept make consistent progress, and each positive outcome further propels them toward greater success. In contrast, the doom loop represents a cycle of failure and inconsistency where companies jump from one idea to the next without a clear strategy or focus. Companies stuck in the doom loop experience frequent changes in direction and often fail to gain momentum because they lack the discipline to stay on track. The doom loop can be caused by a lack of strategic focus, constantly chasing new trends without understanding their long-term implications, or reacting to short-term pressures. Collins stresses that companies that achieve sustained greatness avoid the doom loop by staying committed to their vision, making incremental improvements, and building momentum slowly. The flywheel concept is about long-term consistency and understanding that success comes from many small, well-executed actions rather than one-time efforts. The flywheel's power comes from its ability to maintain momentum once it is set in motion, while the doom loop keeps companies trapped in a cycle of failed attempts and lack of focus. The chapter highlights that achieving greatness is not about sudden breakthroughs, but about building lasting momentum over time through steady effort. Chapter 9. From Good to Great to Built to Last. The final chapter of Good to Great connects the ideas of achieving greatness to sustaining it over the long term. Collins draws parallels between Good to Great and his earlier book Built to Last, emphasizing that companies that make the leap to greatness must also focus on building an enduring legacy. Great companies are not just focused on short-term success. they are committed to sustaining their greatness over generations. The transition from good to great is about creating a company culture and structure that can survive beyond individual leaders and current market conditions. Companies that achieve greatness have strong, enduring values and principles that guide them through changing times and challenges. The most successful companies in good to great are those that built a foundation of greatness that was resilient enough to thrive for the long haul. Collins discusses the importance of creating a long-term vision and committing to building a company that can adapt and evolve with time. The concept of built to last means that greatness is not just a moment in time, but a sustained effort that is embedded in the company's culture, values, and operations. Great companies invest in developing their leadership and systems to ensure that the company can continue to thrive even after the current leadership has passed on. Collins suggests that companies focused on sustaining greatness prioritize continuity and long-term thinking over quick success or immediate results. The final takeaway is that achieving greatness is just the beginning. The true challenge lies in maintaining that greatness and ensuring it lasts for the long term. Collins concludes that companies that move from good to great must also focus on building organizations that are capable of enduring beyond individual leaders and through the challenges of the future. Conclusion: the path from good to great and beyond. In conclusion, Good to Great offers a powerful blueprint for companies that aspire to rise above mediocrity and achieve sustained greatness. Collins' research uncovers the core principles that distinguish great companies from good ones, emphasizing disciplined leadership, unwavering focus, and a culture of continuous improvement. The journey from good to great is not an overnight success. It requires patience, humility, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. The hedgehog concept, level 5 leadership, and the flywheel effect are just a few of the key tools that can propel an organization toward long-term success. Companies that confront the brutal facts, maintain their faith, and stay true to their core values can thrive even in the face of challenges. Greatness, as Collins shows, is built on consistency, discipline, and a commitment to building something that will endure beyond any individual leader or market trend. The principles outlined in this book are timeless, and with the right mindset and approach, any company can make the leap from good to great. So, if you're ready to take your company or personal growth to the next level, take these lessons to heart, apply them, and start building your journey toward greatness today. If you found this summary helpful and inspiring, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more insightful content, and join us as we continue exploring more transformative books that can change your life and business.